Mko tayari?
Haya, nani anatupea signal? International, mko na live view?
Kwa sawa, twende.
So you are set?
These guys will never be ready. Hao watu wa timu B wae.
Tengeneza. Haya. Hiyo ni gani? ODM ya media na kuanga nani? Yaani ile kubwa. West. Haya, sawa. Haya. Thank you very much, members of the press. As always, we appreciate you coming to cover our events. Sorry we have started a bit late. But this is a statement of the ODM National Executive Committee meeting that has been held today here at the Kempinski Hotel in Nairobi. The National Executive Committee of the Orange Democratic Party held its meeting this morning in Nairobi. This meeting is being held at a very difficult time when the country and indeed the entire world is still grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic. As a party, we continue to urge our members to follow the Ministry of Health guidelines, even as we thank the government for efforts to source enough or sufficient vaccines for the entire population. We request that once these arrive, the government must embark on a mass vaccination exercise to ensure that we quickly are able to reopen the economy. We urge the government to urgently come up with an economic stimulus package, including but not limited to cash transfers, support to SMEs, kazi mtaani and mashambani, in order to alleviate the suffering brought about by the pandemic. The NEC has also expressed satisfaction with the response from the public to the ongoing recruitment drive, membership recruitment drive, which has seen the party net more than 200,000 new members in 3 weeks from July 1st, 2021, following the waiver of membership fees. We wish to remind the public that only registered members will be allowed to participate in party exercises, including party grassroots elections and nominations, and that they should take advantage of the current window to register. It's as easy as dialing *483*036# or visiting the www.odmmembership.com, and it's free of charge. The NEC has also received a report from the National Elections Board on the grassroots elections that are ongoing under the superintendence of the board. The exercise kicked off in Upper Eastern and will move to the Lower Eastern region this coming week. We wish to request our members across the country to remain patient as the exercise rolls out and desist from actions that would undermine the work of the board. The NEC has also deliberated on the question of resolution of the dispute regarding sharing party funds with our former partners in the NASA coalition, and wishes to make the following observations. The offer to make certain payments to our former partners was made on a strictly without prejudice basis, because from a plain reading of the NASA coalition agreement, we owe our partners nothing. They have argued before that all monies received by the party was shareable equally amongst all parties in the coalition, which position has been dismissed both by the Registrar of Political Parties and the Office of the Auditor General, because the money ODM receives is purely out of the number of votes received by ODM candidates in the gubernatorial, parliamentary, and civic seats, and does not include presidential votes. We have in the past encouraged our partners to have their claim processed through official channels like the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties or the courts, but for reasons best known to them, they declined and instead opted to engage our party informally. Our party leader participated in these talks with utmost good faith and with an eye on settling the matter once and for all, to free ODM to fully focus on its future. The offer made must be seen from this perspective. An ex gratia payment made in consideration of our long-standing relationship and friendship. The party is therefore dismayed by statements attributed to our former partners that the offer was somehow a vindication of their long-running grievance and that the same was made in a desperate attempt to keep them in the coalition. Nothing could be further from the truth. We still hold that NASA is the past. To further demonstrate this point, the National Executive Committee of ODM has today resolved to formally exit the NASA coalition. The NEC has further deliberated on the future of the party and its need to make new friends. We intend to embark on a program to build new partnerships and extend the ongoing talks with our potential partners to the grassroots. To this end, regional meetings and engagements have been planned with like-minded parties, and the schedule for this will be shared in due course. That is the end of the statement, and we will take questions from you. Yes.
My name is Emmanuel from KTN News. When are you going to write to the political parties registrar on the statement that you've issued?
Yeah, the resolution has just been made. It is still fresh, so just relax. In the course of the coming few days, there will be communication to that effect. Another question?
You said new alliances. Who are these maybe new parties you're looking at? Because I think yesterday you just mentioned that what Kalonzo said is this wasn't a divorce, it was a renegotiation. So probably your parties meeting somewhere?
I think the plan remains that of God. Where our paths will cross or whether they will cross again is not something I can speak to. But for us as a party, we are saying it is now time for us to look to the future, to start discussions with potential new partners, to build a new movement that is going to be providing solutions to the problems that face our people as a country.
That includes the Wiper Democratic Movement, ANC, and any other party that was in the formerly NASA coalition?
Yeah, that for now, NASA is the past for us. We would like to formally end this arrangement and for us to be allowed to pursue relationships with other people. I do not understand why the media likes to saddle us with certain specific people. Kennedy Mureithi, please allow us as ODM to be free to talk to any other person out there because, as you know, there are almost 100 registered political parties in this country. And we intend to pursue dialogue with everyone who wants to work with us in order to see this new dream that we have come to fruition.
So His Excellency Raila Odinga was not under duress when he was agreeing to give them a share of this money?
No, the duress is a making of the media again, because for us it was an ex gratia payment made in consideration of our long-standing friendships. It was not based on any legal basis because, as we have explained time and again, the only shareable money was the money that was attributed to the presidential vote, which the registrar made clear that is not coming to us because the election was nullified by the courts.
There's an article that has been quoted, and that is Article 131 of the coalition agreement, and that is what Kalonzo has been insisting he used when he was going to speak to Raila Odinga when he agreed to give this money.
First, there is no Article 131 in the NASA coalition. I know it from front to end. The clause that NASA, the NASA partners were relying on is Article 13.1.
Yes.
13.1 provides that money shall be shared on the basis of the partners' contribution to the strength of the coalition. And if you just go back one clause up, there was a requirement that we undertake joint nominations so that you can rightfully say that these coalition partners where, for instance, we had a coalition candidate contributed to the strength of the coalition in the House. So I think this needs to be very clear that having failed or refused to participate in joint nominations, you cannot say you contributed to the strength of the coalition. For instance, the coalition lost Langata because they refused to have joint nominations. The coalition would have been stronger if we had won Langata, if we had won Lamu West, and many other seats across the country. Yeah, and even the senatorial in Nairobi. So please allow other media houses to also ask a question.
There's a question here on the issue of the coalition. That's NASA. Both Wiper and ANC said the reasons why they wanted to pull out and they're pulling out is because of mistrust. You're talking of a new venture, and you might include any of Now that they have mentioned you as they do not trust you, would you include them?
I think the question of mistrust has been addressed repeatedly. We have said we agree there is mistrust in the coalition. The only point of departure is where the mistrust came in and who caused it. Because as for ODM, the mistrust began when we were going to swear in Raila Odinga at Uhuru Park. How can you be trusted coalition partners when we are going to war, we are counting and we are saying we have 4 soldiers behind us, and when we turn back, we don't see anyone? That is where the mistrust began. The mistrust was further exacerbated by the fact that when we go to by-elections in places like Kibra, which is an acknowledged bedroom of ODM, our partners decide that they are the ones who are going to help the common enemy to access our regions. So that is where the mistrust is, and for us we are saying, please, even you in the media, please allow ODM to look to the future. Now that we have also formally resolved to exit NASA, please allow us to focus on the future of this party. Is there any other question that has nothing to do with NASA?
Yes, you need to.
I think that is where we will end it.
Just one minute.
There is also this statement that
Just a minute,
Kennedy,
Muriithi.
please allow other media.
Muriithi, you know, I wanted to be very clear on this issue of funding. Please give me time. Because you media keep on misreporting it. Get to understand how political parties' funds is shared. It is very clear in the law. Once a party qualifies, which in this case is only Jubilee and ODM, how then do you allocate money to ODM? You add all the votes garnered by all MCA candidates in the last election. Votes garnered. You add all the votes of members of parliament, those who contested, not just members of parliament in parliament. All the votes, including Sifuna's votes in Nairobi, is added for ODM. Then you add all the votes of gubernatorial candidates. Parliament, I have included National Assembly and the Senate. And you add the presidential vote. In our case, the presidential vote is not counted because the registrar, through the advice of the Attorney General, said we could not use the results of August 8th, 2017, that we used the repeat election of 26th October, where ODM did not participate. Now, if you add the votes of ODM candidates, where we even with our coalition partners, they even reduced our votes. Because, for example, if you take my case, my closest competitor was a Ford Kenya candidate who garnered 16,000 plus. I got 21,000. The only vote that ODM is using to get their money is 21,000. Now you again come and you want to share the money that we are getting as a result of our candidates, where you participated even in reducing the shareable revenue. It is not fair. Yeah. And this we have said severally. So what we have done as a party, and under the guidance and advice of the party leader, is to be magnanimous, to be generous to our friends with whom we have worked with, some of them from 2013 to date. It has nothing to do with liability. We are not liable, but we will give them that contribution, that ex gratia payment which the party leader accepted. Finally, on the issue of elections, and the SG has put it, we are doing party elections. Staggered grassroots election. We have started with Upper East, 5 counties. Yes. And we are going on. So it is election. I see media reporting harmonization, what. Please don't give it other names. This is an election. Thank you very much. I don't think there is any other question.
There's lunch.
Very well. But now the question is,
ready. Lunch is ready.
You say have you given them money because you want to work with them again?
No. We have given them money. No.
That question has been answered.
I've answered it.
That question has been answered.
I've answered the question. This payment is an ex gratia payment.
It is in the statement.
It is not our interest. How, if we wanted to keep them, why have we resolved to exit ourselves? It doesn't matter. It's a favor. It's generosity. It's the way we want to do you a favor and buy you lunch. It's generosity. It's okay.